Hello, let's try and add Dr. Charu Chopra from Axis and see what she has been up. Hello, lush little light. Good to see you. Hello, Charu. All right. Charu, please join us on the chat, on the live. I am very interested in knowing what you're up to. Okay. Hello, there you are.
Hello, hello. Yeah.
How have you been? Where have you been? Like, what magic? I'm looking at all the posts in Egypt and I'm going crazy. And I myself have ended up booking up impromptu plan for Pondicherry. And I'm somebody who's very organized, prim, proper. I have to schedule, think 1,000 million times, and then do. I have no leaves approved. I have no idea how I'm going there still. But I booked my stay there. And that too for no less than 9 days. Like, it's just insane.
Impromptu choices. It's called impromptu choices.
Oh my
Choices.
God. What magic? कहाँ थे? Tell me about it. क्या क्या करके आए हो आप? Egypt? Like, oh my God.
No, so this trip was planned in a way like for last 3 4 months, I think the previous slide that we did, which we haven't posted, but for last 3 4 months, like I was really looking at, like I was done with everything that I wanted to do, and I was just looking at what's fun for me in my life, and nothing. I was not getting anything in my life. So as the months were going by, I was still asking questions. So one of the things that I've learned in Access, which I'm a facilitator of, I'm an Access Consciousness Facilitator, and I facilitate some classes in Access. And if you don't know what is Access Consciousness, you got to go and Google it. It is one vast energy that allows us to be who we truly be in our own ways. It just does not tell us to be and do what you're supposed to do, but you just start being yourself, right? So like I have so much joy.
I, I can sense
So
it. Oh my.
for last 3 4 months, I was losing my joy. I was like, what's going on? And I was constantly asking questions. What is fun for me? What would I like to have in my life? And we make it so significant and relevant. Like some purpose should be like, I love working with people. I love contributing to people's life, but it was more of like, what's fun for me? So even if I was attending some functions, weddings, and where I enjoy being with people, I was like a dead person. Like हिंदी में मैं बोल रही थी कि मैं एकदम लाश के जैसे ना घूम रही हूँ लोगों के साथ. Like I was just not happy from within. Although people can see and like, oh, she's so happy. So as I kept asking questions, and what I've learned in Access is following the energy, the pings that you have. It's not very logical. It's not very. Uh, it just doesn't make sense, but you got to do it. And for last 8 9 years, every time I've traveled, more or less 80 to 90%, it's some work that I'm traveling. Either I have to attend a class, I'm facilitating a class, or there is a wedding in the house. There's some or the other thing. There is some work that I'm traveling to. But this was like I was looking at, okay, if I had no reason, justification to make a choice, will I be able to choose it? And then my friends didn't say yes. Like there were many factors to giving up on this choice that I truly wanted to make. you know how the logical mind says, oh, there's nobody, you're going to be alone. You may, yes, well, solo travel is quite fun, but I've done it quite a number of times and it's not been fun for me. So I am sometimes skeptical of doing that solo travel. Um, but I looked at it and I said, I'm just waiting for somebody to say yes and I'll go ahead and do it. And how many times we make some choices, like we're just waiting for somebody else to come along and we'll just do it. Like I would want my friend to come along with me and in morning I'll go for a walk or a jog. Or even the food, like if there's somebody in the house, I will cook brilliant food, or guests are coming, I'll cook good food. But if it's me, let me just find something and just do the
And the
shortcuts. I am one of them.
crockery. Oh my God, the
Yeah.
insanity in me. And
Like, right? You don't take out the crockery, you don't wear nice clothes, you don't dress up. Everything is for somebody else, something else outside of you. And then there are some choices that you start, like I was having some conversation with somebody and the person asked, like, how do I love myself? Like I was like, I have no clue. How do you love yourself? You have to keep exploring, what does loving myself look like to me, right? We do a lot of self love, like it's not putting creams, or it's not like, wearing nice clothes is self love. There are many ways of loving yourself. So I kept asking, and then this trip showed up, and of course, I had various sensations in my body that looked like anxiety, that looked like a panic, that looked like, will I be able to do this, and everything. And all I kept checking on was like, will I be safe? Will I be taken care? Everything. Like asking questions and receiving the awarenesses. Your awarenesses are something, actually we all have awarenesses, but when we don't receive them, it's like asking a question and getting stuck there, like not listening to yes and no, and like trusting that yes and no. You ask a question, you get a yes and no, but most of the time we'll either push it away, not listening to yes no, or we'll listen to yes no, but we'll not trust it, but it may not be correct. What if the mind is speaking? And then third is, you do yes and no, you receive the trust in you, and then you got to be willing to be courageous to follow that awareness, right? So there are three factors to it. So I got this trip, I went on this trip, and oh my God, like every moment has been so magical. I was looking for friends, and then I had to let go of that definition. Like, what if my these friends don't show up? What if I create new friends? What if I meet new people? And I cannot tell you, Archita, like how I met so many new people. I made such good friends. I was taken so well cared. Like I was nurtured, I was protected. I got so many gifts. Like I received a ring in one of the places, and it's a very beautiful ring. So, and just a gift, I met so many strangers, good looking people, and I had so much fun. And all I had to tell myself, choose and trust. Choose and trust. Choose and trust. Do not give up your choices for anybody else in this world. Now, what does that mean? Well, I also traveled business class, if you didn't know that.
oh my God, that's
Yeah.
amazing. Like for
You
me,
know,
I'm
so
done.
correct. And, so I was looking at, so I was talking to my family and I was like, in my life, I never thought that this was all available and possible, but it was really choosing what's true for me and allowing that to show up, and constantly being in the question and constantly making small, small, small choices. It isn't about big choice. Okay. And I know myself, like I keep waiting for that one big choice where everything will change, and I have to pull myself back and look at, okay, it's not about that one choice. It's about moment by moment by moment choosing. And end of the year, when you look back, you're like, okay, I know I made some great choices. I know I made some shitty choices. I received so much of awareness, and how much more can I trust myself now? In the journey of all of this, we try to make it all perfect, right? And I know myself, like I wanted the whole plan to be chalked out and everything. And I didn't go by the plan. Nothing was by the plan. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do what you have told me, but more than my plan, I covered so many things. I was so happy. And I met so many strangers who didn't know me at all, and it was the energy energy that was speaking. Like, if some of you are listening to me, I know a lot of you've been doing using the tools of access. And sometimes when we are around our friends, family, our clients, sometimes they may not see the difference in you. You may not see the difference in you. But when you go to random lands, random places, stranger land, like I had so many strangers saying that you're so different than anybody else we've ever met. And I was like, what? And then they were like, and I was like, what do you mean by difference? And then they were like, the level of relaxation you have is very different. And I kept thinking myself, in my house, I'm labeled as somebody who is like always go on the go and panic. And I don't panic, but like I'm on the go and impatient and I want to do so many things at the same time. But there was so much of level of relaxation that I had, and I did everything there. Like I did so many activities, walked so much, I saw so many things. There were so many awarenesses to be received. And the whole trip, like my ping will be only, I need to read something, I need to write something, I need to speak to my clients. And I was like, what if I had no need here? And everything has been opening up so much. So the trip was like taught me so many things. Like, so I kept talking to my people, like I was taking a workshop, and I said, hey guys, if you haven't gone on a solo trip, please go. Like, please go, because you are not solo, like you're with yourself. And the one person that we miss is ourselves. We're always looking for, I should have a friend, I should have family members, I should have somebody to go um on a trip or do whatever. But what if you can do that for yourself? And then the whole universe opens up. Like, I have magical stories. um I was in Siva. It's a small place in Egypt. It's called Oasis, Siva Oasis. And the person who took me around, my guide, um, he became my very good friend. So, like, he was my partner for my food, for my dinner, breakfast, and taking me around and chit chatting. And I was talking to him about his religion. And he was like, okay, so what does your religion say? And in the whole conversation, I would say, okay, you know what? I don't want to talk about religion. I want to talk about the laws of universe, the laws of nature, right? Because the nature also talks about oneness, and that his religion would talk about oneness, and we have all the possible religions. So he kept scrolling, like I was scrolling through my phone, and he saw something like, what's that? What's that? What are you doing on head? Like, he identified the energy. Now, his English is really not good, but he knows the energy. So I said, this is something that I teach in the world called access bars. And he said, tell me about this. And he got so curious that I told him, I said, it's something that deletes stuff in your head that allows you to delete your past to create the future that you desire. If you have no past, what would you create? And he was like, wow, it's possible. It's really possible. So I said, yeah. And I said, okay. He said, oh, I wish if you were here, I would receive a session. And I said, I would gift you. And in Siva, like, it was that energy was so loud, like looking at myself, the access bars energy, that I gifted him a session. And he said, I know you're going to come here and all of us are going to learn bars from you. And I was like, okay,
Oh,
what else is possible?
wow. So
Yes, and then and while I was running his session, it was so magical for me because, like, I was so teary, like, because, going to another part of the world where people don't know anything about you, people don't know what you do, and you have no need to speak about it. Like, I do this and I'm a doctor. I didn't say anything. I said, I'm just a traveler, I'm just exploring space for
you were the
myself.
invitation. You were the
Hmm?
invitation. You were the
I
invitation.
was the I was the invitation,
Yeah.
right? And then suddenly that energy became so loud that it started getting created in that small place.
Oh my.
So it was really cool for me. And then when I was returning to the airport, I was very busy making the reel.
Those are wonderful. I I mean, I'm wow, doing this. Oh, just sitting and talking and thinking and not taking any choices, not making choices, not taking action.
Yeah, and
Wow.
you keep making choices moment by moment. So I was choosing to make my reel that time, and I was least bothered who was around me. But there was this one person, the one guy who wanted to talk to me, and he was just thinking, because later on we spoke, he was just thinking that I want to talk to this girl, and but I will just not go directly. And I was like, okay, so what did you do? Later on, this was a later conversation. And this was what was going on in his head. And I wanted Wi Fi because it didn't, my net was not working. And I just turned around and he was sitting next to me. And I said, can you give me Wi Fi? And he was so happy because this was going on in his head. And later on, I was talking to him and I was like, do you know, like you really pulled my energy and you were playing with possibilities. How many times you're playing with that possibility in our world and it gets created, and then we don't acknowledge, and we will be like, yeah, it was just one off coincidence. But that wasn't true, right? So many times. Like I'm my tour person, my main guy, the one who did Nile Empires, the guy who planned my whole tour. He was such a sweet person. Like I had such great conversations with him. So I met so many people there, and I had to like let myself know all the time. It's really a choice. Choose to have people around you who would you who you can have fun with. Like make a choice that creates greater for you in the future. Hi, Jean. Right? So, how many choices can you make today to create the life you desire for the future? Right? And it's not like I want to become a travel blogger. I may, who knows, but it's not something that I I had to start identifying like what is really joyful for me and what is my reality, and do I really enjoy doing what I do. So many places. So the trip allowed me to see myself in a very different way. And
Wow.
and then you said like you made such random choices that I made some choices, and I was like, that's what Dane talks about, like being you, changing the world. So I will keep telling you, okay, do this, but it won't work. But when I go and make choices for myself, and I come back and I see my friends, my family, like things are so different.
True, that's so true, and I'm just so amazed. But okay, I'll my small brain, which is usually okay, I've learned how to make choices, not go into reasoning. Understand that reasoning is a decision, not a choice. I have done that part, okay. But the logical brain, once after making choices, goes into the smallness. Oh shit, what now? How will I ask for leaves? How will I go now? What will my other friends think? What will my family think that I'm not taking leaves for them? I'm not traveling with them? All those 10,000 noises.
Yeah.
Like, how did you deal with that? I am right now struggling, honestly. Like,
Okay.
it's just insane.
So let's do this, like in this live also, let's do some step by step process so that it helps other people also. So when you say, okay, fine, I made a choice, but my mind comes in. Like, how will I take leaves? What will I say to the family? Like I said, will I be safe? Where will the money come from? Okay, I know if I go for a trip, I come back, there will be so much of work. And then I know some of my friends will get jealous. There are many factors to it, right? So, step one, choose from a space of, is this choice fun for me? Does this create greater for me? What would my life be like in next 5 years? And see which is light and heavy for you. Now, doesn't mean that you should go for the lightness, but see, if you go with the lightness, like I went with the lightness, I am very happy. But when I make choices that are heavy for me, I start becoming heavy, heavy, dense. Okay. I start becoming irritated, angry, all the energies that are dense and heavy. Okay. So you can choose between one and two, whatever works. Now, then the logical mind comes like, what will I say to people? Replace it with questions. What can I say to people that they can hear for this trip to happen with ease?
Oh, wow.
Okay. Replace your question and start receiving those awarenesses. Okay. Because if you have 5 family members, everybody would like to hear a different thing,
True.
right? All five, if you say the say, I'm going with, I don't care, I'm just choosing for myself, won't work, right? It is like fighting and proving. So ask, what can I say first make that choice in your head, like I'm choosing to do this. Okay, because I know this choice is something that works for me.
Yeah.
It includes all the things. You can talk about a course. I want to choose this course. I want to travel. I want to buy this expensive bag. Any choice, right? Or getting up in the morning, you go and then you say, okay, what can I do and be to have this choice in my world? Then the points of views will come. How will money show up? Okay, now how, replace your how by what will it take for money to show up?
Yeah.
Okay, oh, but I only get salary, I only have this fixed amount, but nobody else is coming right now. Okay, no, stop. What are the infinite ways for me to start receiving money? This is what I did in my trip. So at one point of the trip, it hit me. I was like, oh shit, I'm not working right now. And I was like, okay, this is no question. So I was like, okay, interesting point of view. I have this point of view that the only way I can receive money is through work. Okay, what are the infinite ways I can receive money? And that moment, one of my old friends texted me and said, hey, you want to invest money in shares? In 1 week it can grow up to 20%. I was like, oh, this is like a possibility showed up. So I was like, okay, sure. But in that moment it pinged. Okay, and this friend and me haven't spoken for like probably a year right now. So when you go through the mind, you have to address your mind, not give up on your choice. What we have learned is give up on our choices. Address your mind, and as an adult, look at it. Okay, why do I have the need to justify, or just start clearing those spaces and work on yourself? And it may be a possibility that first time you cannot, but the second time you will be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then the whole points of views that you start, even like, oh, what will I say to my friends? What can I say to my friends that they can receive?
Mm.
Okay. Does that help?
Absolutely, that does. It's like opening up so many. I never, because as I said, when the mind is going into smallness, it loves to go into the dense and heavy
Mm.
energies. And this makes it so simple. Yeah, just ask the question, right? Follow the awareness. That's what you did. And
Yes. Like I had to be very present with asking questions, and that's what I've observed with every time I'm going on a solo trip. I'm very present with myself and I ask a lot of questions. But when I'm around people, when I'm with my friends or when I'm with my family members or anybody, I lose the track of questions. And no, the magic occurs when you ask questions. So, how
magic.
many times
Oh my God.
How many times we give up our magic because nobody else A believes in magic? B, you asking a question, you are the crackpot, right? And then you start believing that you are a crackpot because you're just asking questions. But when you're willing to ask a question, it starts rearranging all the molecules and new universe starts opening up for you.
True.
So asking a question, and I have been observing every time I travel more, I am asking a lot of questions. There is no fixed plan that I'm supposed to do. I'm thinking, I'm not actually thinking, I'm just saying, okay, should I eat here? Should I eat here? This. And I'm willing to, and it's, as we say, you're willing to make wrong choices. It's really you, when you're by yourself, you got to make some choice, right? If you're hungry, you're going to go and make a choice. If you don't like the food, you're going to make another choice. And that allows you, but the need to be making a right choice because you're with a friend and you don't want to offend a friend, like you go to a wrong restaurant, right? So we get to this rightness with somebody, but when you're with yourself, you're so free to explore yourself, like, okay, let me see what works for me and what doesn't work for me. It's not significant.
I think that's the most profound part of solo travel.
Yeah.
It's like not justifying why I want this or why I don't want this.
Yeah. And also, like, it began, that you were my first person when I went for a solo trip to Spain. And when I came back, that was not a nice trip for me. And I was like, why the hell people go for a solo trip? But when I came back, I had to start seeing the whole where I do not enjoy myself. I feel sad with myself. If I feel sad with myself, how else somebody else will feel good with me, right? There's always a need to please the other person, so I have to shove away my sadness and be always happy and smiling. But that's not true. Like I had to always keep look. I every time I went for a travel, it has given me so much more, and I was like, okay, this is something that's fun and joy, and I'm choosing this more this year. No matter how, I'm gonna make this choice more in my life. And then it starts opening up different universes, and how it will show up we don't know, but that's something that I started identifying. I'm willing to do whatever it takes for me to travel more.
Love that. Love that question. Because yeah, this is, it's very easy to, just go with that and not ask questions and take it, oh, kuch cheezein to hoti hai. But with access, and that's what I say, when I'm actually feeling the feels and I'm in my energy, I know you ask question and things will shift. They will. There is no doubt about it. But the challenge is we don't take those steps. So wonderful. I
And
wonder.
then you gotta stay with it. Like sometimes it just doesn't show up immediately, right? um like I said, like this trip, it took me some time to like, and later on I received like the whole anxiety that I was going in my stomach, and everything was like my body was so excited to go. But and I use the tools, but I still miss out. I did not ask my body, "Are you excited?" I just quickly go went into the conclusion, "Oh my God, there is anxiety. Something is wrong. Let me just call up my friend and fix it for myself." Right? So anywhere you have this need to fix everything rather than just staying with it and receiving it. Okay, what are you gifting me here? The whole world opens up, and that's the choice. Like you choose to receive more, you choose to experience more. Like in our previous conversation, it was more of how many more experiences can we have in our life. There is no purpose, like there is no purpose to anything, but it is about how many more experiences can I have in my life now, and my response to that experience is my choice. My response to that experience of being happy, being sad, being irritated, being anxious, being angry is what I need to get present to and start changing my response to the situation. The moment your response to the situation starts changing, you grow up,
Yeah, that's
right? So yesterday I was talking to people. I had this shamanic class and we were talking about money, and I said, "Hey guys, you're going to always be worried about the money issue will always be there." Okay? Because as much money as you have, you're going to put it somewhere and then you're going to look for more money and more money. What you got to receive is, okay, this is a part of life and this is where I need to grow up. Worrying will not help me.
that's
I
true.
got to start asking, okay, what are the infinite ways? What are the different ways I can create money, but not get stuck to one way of creating money? And how many new ways you can explore to create money, to create your life, to have different friends, different partners, different ways of working with your body. There are so many possibilities to explore than just going by one path and then deciding whether you're a failure or a success with that one path. Like, no, that doesn't work, right?
Right.
Am
That's
I talking too much?
no, you're not. I am no, I'm quiet because I'm like I'm just observing. It's actually very wonderful because it's very common to get into those traps, right? And it's very easy to give up on yourself and get into the excuses and stories that, oh, because of this and because of that. While it's okay, it did not work. It's much easier. Okay, it did not work. What else can I add here? How can I have more fun with this? What awareness am I not acknowledging? Simple questions, profound questions, life changing questions. So thank you so much. You always make it so wonderful and easy and so much fun. And my God, please keep creating more magic. And yeah, I I hope you have more such trips and keep inspiring. And
Yes.
I want to wonder what that take.
I
And
am glad that I found something that excites me in my life, because when your enthusiasm and excitement goes away, like there is no reason to like live, for me at least. So I have to keep finding what excites me. And you know me, I keep finding new ways to excite me, which is still not wrong, because that brings the enthusiasm to do whatever else I'm doing, like being with my family, working with my clients, sitting with my friends. If I am happy from within, the energy flows out. But if I'm not happy from within, I suck all the energy with me. So, what makes you happy, and what choices can you make that makes you happy? And what would it be like for you to have that in this year more?
I wonder what all is possible now. All
Yes.
right. Thank you so much. And thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for your time. It was wonderful. And I hope to catch up you on this live again. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks everyone for joining. Bye bye.